We're ready to get live. It's 8 o'clock. Let me get all the stuff behind scenes here so I could see. So, hey guys, as you are popping in, say hi. Let me know where you're coming from. I am super excited for Friday CEO Flow. Let me mute Zena just for a second. Just so we can do the nice grand entry and welcome her in. It is Friday CEO Flow, which is our night of just chilling and still learning and still developing, but still getting different parts of our business. And what I'm doing this for the first quarter is I am bringing in different experts that are in my tribe that are freaking phenomenal, and I feel that you should know them. So as you're popping in, do me a favor, heart this up, like this up, engage, go get a friend. Let's make it something that is magical. Like you get to create the magic. I'm here to give information and to supply you with the entertainment, and you get to make it magical by doing all the things, liking it up, sharing people, letting people know it's something, a conversation that they need to be part of. I don't waste your time, so just guarantee if you're in here, you're going to get something exactly that you need to get. So tune in, plug in, and first of all, let me know where you're coming from. Second of all, let me know what's in your cup. What's in your cup? What's in your cup? If you got a cup next to you, what's in your cup? Friday nights is all about flow. So I was just sharing on Instagram. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, then go to drallygriffith.com. Dr. Allie Griffith at Dr. Allie Griffith. And I was showing the behind the scenes of me getting ready. And honestly, be underneath, this is my robe. And underneath my robe is my nightgown. Because that's what Friday is about. I took my workout, I showered, I made some tea, and I'm not dressed. This is literally Friday flow. So what are you drinking in the cup? Put it in the chat below that I need to know what you're drinking. And if not, go grab some water, grab some tea, grab some wine, grab whatever you need for a Friday night, because I want you to stay hydrated as you're getting this juicy information. For my tribe, my elite legacy masterminders, make sure you go get your pods. Let them know that we are live. Come support us. And for our legacy launchers, go get your pods. Let them know Dr. Allie's on. What I need y'all to do also is to press that notification. It's gonna be something that say to be notified when we go live. It'll give you a little alert. Press that notification so you are aware whenever we go live. So you don't miss the goodies live. It's something about being here live. I mean, if you catch a replay, hashtag replay because y'all important too. But if you catch it live, then make sure you let me know that you're doing it live. So without further ado, I want to introduce you, and she's gonna kind of lead this. I'm gonna take the co-chair um, to one of my amazing elite legacy masterminders. Her name is ZinaLetrece, and she is from Life Essentials with ZinaLetrece. And I've had the opportunity to be in the space where Zina has speak, and she is a powerful speaker. She has a powerful story. She's an incredible mindset shifter, uh, biz boss, coach extraordinaire. And we've served together on different tribes. We share a similar coach, and she's also came to support us at our Biz Beach retreats as all sorts of positions, because when we're on the retreat, we do it all. But what I love about Zina is that she is a heart of her heart is she don't give up. Like she don't give up. She's a seasoned chicken, and she understands that she's getting the flow of this whole business things. And for you guys out there, all my other seasoned ladies who sometimes may feel overwhelmed with all the logistics of business, like you're a boss in your area, she could help you with your mindset without a blink. But there's all these other dynamics in the business that sometimes can be overwhelming, that can stop you. So tonight I want us to really focus on showing up even through all the things that happen in our lives that may cause us to want to pause or stop. And I want her to breathe life into you, for those of you who may have that challenge where January you thought you were going to all be ready for the new year. You were all excited about the new year, but then life showed us that wait a minute, you're not quite ready yet, but might want to come out in February or March with a blow. So Zina is going to share all about that and her experience. Guys, welcome Zina. Let me make sure I unmute you. Unmute you. Welcome, Zina. Zina, thank you for coming.
Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was doing my own little crowd. Sometimes I got to speak over myself. We got to speak over myself, I first want to say thank you, Coach. Thank you so much, Dr. Ali. I so appreciate you being willing to mentor, coach, partner, to look across the table, to look down the table, to look at the table, to invite me to your table. I so appreciate the opportunity. So thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the things I'm absolutely stoked about, with all that most of us have had to carry over the last couple of years, is how God prepared me by dropping me in the center of a community that would not let me fall before anything was wrong. And so, I absolutely have to let people know I see that. I see that God prepared me. He dropped me in the center of a community that didn't know my name, that embraced me, shored me up, and held me for the storm that none of us knew that was coming. And so, you are absolutely a part of that support system. And so thank you so much for partnering with me.
You're
And
absolutely welcome.
and thank you for this opportunity as well. So I can't really see. I think I can see the comments. I can't say things. I'm I'm green with StreamYard. And I don't have a problem telling people when I'm green, because that's the only way I'll get nurtured into how to grow. Somebody got to water me in some areas. And so I'm a little bit green with StreamYard, but I'm real fluid and flexible about how I sit up and show up. And I get in
Got
where I
you.
fit in, and I ask for help when I start to struggle. And so,
I got you. I got you. I got you.
and so, pause me, stop me, redirect me if I get off track from your general topic. Um,
The general topic is, so I'll ask you a question and then you can go from there. Speak to what it feels like to feel a beast in your area, but yet at times overwhelmed in the business space. Like that may that may cause you to pause. Like speak to those out there that need to hear that first they're not alone, and then B, what did you do to navigate through those moments? You had a really tumultuous year end of 2021, to put it light, and navigating through it to now see you back on the other side, because sis, that could have really knocked you down for a
yeah.
very long time. And to watch you navigate it and process it, I just feel like if others out there need to know that when you see when you see this, the beauty, the smiling on the other side, that it really took work to get through here, God, and all the things that you're going to share with them. Like, walk them through a little bit of that journey.
So before I even get you to 2021, I just want to give you I'll give you a couple of the boulders that have had the capacity to stop me in my tracks, but didn't. Uh, you know, um, Being raised by a Christian minister grandmother and a Muslim minister father, who both loved me very much, could have stopped me, but it didn't. Um, Being determined to live life by my own rules, no matter how much that didn't work, from a very, very young age. And I don't mean like 21, 22, 23. I mean like 14, 15, 16, way before it is suggested that a young person try to do things on their own. That thinking led me to be a young mother. I gave birth to my son at 18, was married at 19, uh, was divorced by 24, and by 25 I had 5 kids and I was single. And so, another boulder that could have stopped me but didn't. I woke up one day overwhelmed with the life that I had chosen to live by my own rules, self-imposed crisis. And it was too much, I couldn't bear. And I began to elevate the drug use I had been doing. I had smoked weed, I had drank, I had popped pills, I had done some things, and it was never disruptive. At this point, I was tired and I wanted to escape. And suicide didn't seem plausible because I kept running into people who attempted suicide and didn't die. And it's like, I don't want to try that. Never mind.
No, we don't want that.
And so, you know, and so I up leveled my drug game, and I was doing hardcore drugs. I did that for about 2 years. That too did not work. And I was encouraged to get into recovery because I had no choice. I had a well whooped behind by the decisions that I had made, another boulder that could have stopped me but didn't. And when getting into recovery, I was introduced to a way of thinking. And this was the beginning of my life beginning to change in a way that I understood the impact I had on others. Because what I know today is I've always had an impact on others, but I didn't know that I had an impact on others. So I always felt like the odd kid out. I always felt like I didn't fit in. I always felt like, it felt like everyone else had a clique and I had literally nowhere to go. And so getting introduced to recovery gave me language for some things that I never knew I needed language for. I didn't understand that my behavior were attempts to try to say things that I was feeling without any words to go with them. And so it gave me language. And with this new language and my already established I'm gonna do life my way attitude, I tried some other things with a better purpose. And still a lot of those things didn't work either. However, these boulders I began to study. I stopped allowing life to just happen to me. Every time boulders showed up, I began to recognize the pattern. It's like, that's a thing that's trying to stop me from doing something. And I need to find out the thing that is trying to get me to stop doing so I can figure out a better way to do this thing because I will not be stopped. You ain't going to lay me down. And so throughout recovery, I thought that was my main purpose in life. That I have this newfound purpose. I have recovery. I understand the 12 steps of recovery. I understand sponsorship. I understand being sponsored. I'm going to conferences. I'm traveling around the world, and I'm speaking in these environments, and it's very, very powerful. But one thing I understand is that when you substitute feeling your feelings, when you substitute a
Yeah.
substance for feeling your feelings, whatever you use instead of feeling your feelings will work, but only for a little while. And
Mm.
so I had tried drugs to avoid feeling my feelings, and that didn't work. And so I got sober. And then I found I was addicted to sobriety.
Okay.
I was going full speed ahead in the thing that I thought was a good thing now. I don't feel like such an oddball. But scripture says that anything used in excess can prove to be dangerous. Even the good thing,
Mm.
anything you use. And recently I was listening to a conversation by a minister, and he was talking about faith, and he was saying anything that you ruminate on, anything you meditate on, will grow. And when you hear that in the church setting, you think, if I meditate on faith, I'll grow faith. But if you think about what the scriptures say, if you meditate on robbing the bank long enough, you're going to end up robbing the bank. If you meditate on doing drugs long enough, you're going to do drugs. If you meditate on the guy you should not be with long enough,
Mhm.
you're going to submit to this guy. And so anything, good or bad, that's the thing that the scripture didn't say, good or bad. So anyway, so I get clearer and clearer and clearer about my purpose. I began to try various things in an effort to find my purpose on this earth. I was limiting myself to the small box of recovery because that had grown comfortable, and I felt complete in that box. I felt safe in that box, and so I began to try to find my purpose in that box, and I started. A transitional house for men in recovery in the early 2000s, and that business worked well, and I could always get it to a certain point, but I could never get it beyond. And it's because I never had a business sense, so to speak. I just
Mm.
knew that purpose was requiring me to step outside what I understood about regular work, the regular work day. And I knew that I couldn't work the jobs that I was equipped to work, executive assistant, and all those things. I couldn't work those jobs full time and serve the people. I kept mixing up. So I tried to do that full time, thinking this is my purpose. God will make a way. And he did, but I couldn't grow because I didn't understand some key points. And in 2019,
So
I
wait,
was in.
I wanna pause you right there because I just wanna that landed on so many spirits right now. Many of us walking in purpose, many of us doing things that we know we were called to serve, but then it can only grow but yay levels because sometimes you don't know the business part. And that happened a lot with me when I started with So Smart Kids and doing the martial arts program and doing something I was passionate about, helping other families with autism, but not understanding the business part, it really limits how far you can go with that passion. Go
Mhm,
ahead. Go ahead.
absolutely.
Anyone else?
So,
If you relate, just let me know. Put it in the chat. You've been there, understand it, and
yes.
have been at that place where you felt like you were operating in purpose, operating in passion, but still something was not going to the levels that you know it should go to, simply because you were not connected to business at that time. Mm-hmm.
So I struggled and I fought and I held on to that nonprofit business because I felt like I was doing a life-changing work for people who didn't feel seen. And so it felt very aligned in what I was supposed to be doing. And I was sure that if I stayed the course, that I would just I would get to the place where it would begin to make money. And my pastor at the time, I was telling him, I was like, he was like, what is the problem, Zeta? I was like, I can't pay my gas bill. And he said, why not? I said, I don't have income, proper income. My money is not going as far as my responsibilities. And he said, so we broke down all the things that I do and where I expected money from. And I kept calling this nonprofit a business. And so he asked me, he said, what's your profit margin? I said, margin? There's no margin.
Where is the profits?
And so he said, Zena, and it hurt. It was like it was piercing. He said, Zena, anything you're calling a business that does not make money is just a hobby. You need a job. I was like, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Ooh,
That hurt.
anything that you are doing that is not bringing in a profit is a
It's a
hobby. Shout out to the
hobby.
hobbyists out
He
there.
said, you got a really passionate hobby. Very good. Now you need a job to pay your bills. So, as much as that hurt, I had to take an honest look at what he was saying, because I've always prayed for the mind opened enough to hear the thing I don't want to hear from the people I don't want to hear it from if it's the truth. And then I want the courage to do something about it if it lands in a way that is extremely uncomfortable. And all of those were in play with that statement with him. And so I got a job. And I had gotten my bachelor's degree in the 90s, and this job was in a clinical setting for veterans, and they were impressed by the skills that I displayed that I still had yet to label. Because just like I impacted people before knowing what my purpose was, and just not having language, by the time I got to this veteran environment, those clinicians started labeling gifts that they could see that I didn't think I had. And they kept saying, do you know when you talk, people do dot dot dot. Do you realize these men, these veteran men who fight everybody and listen to nobody, sit down calmly and respond to you? And I'm like, because at that time I was making $10 an hour. This was 2014, y'all. That's not a lot of money. It's $10 an hour. I was taking care of my house, my mother's house. And so I said, well, y'all need to promote me since everybody listens so well, because I don't know how to say things right, but I know how to say things. So I was like, well, then why I don't have no promotion if everybody listening? Can anybody hear me when I say I need more money?
And that's the part right there that many of us miss we miss the part when we're operating and people are, and you're not seeing you doing your gift. You just think they're just operating, but then everyone else around you is able to say, yo, are you recognizing that people are listening to what you're saying? I remember when I used to be at parties and people used to just come up to me and just start talking to me, and I'm there telling them, like strategizing with them that you should do this and consider doing that, and coming back to them like years later and they're like, yeah, I did that, now what next?
Now
And I
what
was like,
next?
wait, what? So I didn't even realize I was coaching earlier in life. I just thought I was just giving them my opinion and what I thought.
Right.
And people were telling me at that time, girl, you don't even realize how you're impacting people without you even knowing that. How many of us out there are in that space where you're not quite sure what you should be doing in your business, how you should be showing up, but if you really stop to think about, people have been telling you how you really should show up and what your impact has been, and are you really listening? Go ahead,
Right.
Zina.
And so they encouraged me to go back to school. I fought. I was like, I ain't going back to school. I barely made it out that first time. I don't want to go back. I don't like school. I am not the ideal student. That's not my life. I don't want to do it. And they were like, Zena, just do it. I mean, everybody up the chain of management. When you got Volunteers of America CEO coming to your site and saying, Zena, your name is being discussed in the corporate office. We need you to get your degree. That's impactful in a different kind of way. And so I was like, well, I'll go to school, but y'all better support, because when I don't understand what they talking about for this clinical stuff, I'm gonna need all you clinicians to help me learn this language. And
Listen, this same fight that you hear, this is the fight that we always hear with Zina. She's like, listen, I'm going to do this, but y'all better be here to help me.
because I take that, I keep landing in places where I don't speak the language, and the people that do speak the language talk to me in the language I speak and say, Zena, you need to learn this language. And I'm like, I'll only do it if you help me. Otherwise, I ain't doing it. I'm going to keep talking gibberish hood. But in any event, I got my degree. They did promote me. um but life is interesting in that I was being called to a higher thing, and I was asked to speak at an event that took me to another event as a spiritual coach. And at that event, Lisa Nichols came as the keynote, and she invited us coaches to Speak and Write to Make Millions, November of 2019. And I walked into that room, and I couldn't breathe. And it's not that I couldn't breathe because I was choking. I couldn't breathe because everywhere I turned, it took my breath away. Because I felt like I had been lost all my life, and I had landed in a place that felt like home. But it's like being from Africa and never have been to Africa, and then you go to Africa and everyone in Africa says welcome home. It was that kind of feeling, you know. And so uh, the boulders, because that's what I was talking about, was I left Speaking Right to Make Millions in November, and December my mother died. and January of 2020, I stood up into 2020 with the boldness, like, I have been through too much, and I have come too far, and I've climbed over too much to sit down. And I set out to build this business. I released the job um, that forced me to get extra student loans. I released that job, and I started this path. And the first thing I realized is that this is a language that I don't speak, and that is the language of business. And it's like, Zena, you don't speak the language of business, but you are an entrepreneur. You're a hustler. You survive the streets. You survive motherhood. You survive every man that left you. You survive two religions in one household. You are a survivor, and you are a hustler. And what you don't do is go hungry, whether you got money or don't got money. You don't go cold, whether you got a house or you don't got a house. You don't go empty, whether you got real clothes or you got borrowed clothes. And so whatever language you don't speak, you better start speaking the language you do speak, so that you don't starve to death in this environment. And so everywhere I go, I didn't ask people how much they made. I asked people, how did they learn how to do what they do? How did you learn that when you didn't know nothing? where was you? I remember in the early 80s, my cousin talked me into taking this data entry job that I was not equipped for. I didn't have the background for, but I talked my way into the position. And when I got there, I couldn't figure out how to turn the computer on.
You have the position.
So my cousin that gave me all the cheat sheets of what to do once I was doing all the work, but she forgot to tell me how to turn the computer on. And I'm in this position. I didn't know how to turn the computer on. I'm like, I am in a pickle. And so I did that in 2020. Everywhere I went, I started saying, how y'all turn on the computer? I stopped. I did not let shame or embarrassment or inadequacy or feeling like I don't speak the language prevent me from speaking up in large rooms where I didn't feel like I belong. But not feeling like I belong had to be a misnomer, because I know I didn't get to where I was by accident. Because if I was going to accidentally land anywhere by my own volition, it would not have been in a room where I didn't feel comfortable. And so I had to have been placed in that position. And so instead of going by my feeling of inadequacy, I went by the fact that I'm here. So somebody is here that can help me. I don't know who. And the only way that person is going to find me is if I start talking, and I start talking loud, and I start talking to everybody, and I start talking about whatever. And as I began to do that, I ran into several people who rallied up against me, Dr. Ali being one of them. And in December of 2020, in the midst of the pandemic and all that stuff, I said, God, which way do I go? Because 2021 does not look bright. You know, I'm not sure exactly how to keep this going. And God said, give of your time, give of yourself. Because when he first said give, I was like, here we go, back at what margin? There's no margin to give. There's no excess. I've left the job that was the giving place, and now where, how, and so I began to offer my time, and from January of 2021 until December of 2021, I did, oh my God, I did 6 retreats, six retreats, and 4 seminars, and 6 retreats live and in person. I need to put that in there, where I got on an airplane and showed up. And 4 seminars, and a soiree, and a couple of other experiences. And on every one of them, I showed up as a servant, willing to learn. And in August, my brother died. And so from August to January of 22, me and God just had, I ranted. He allowed me to rant, to kick, to scream, to do what I do. And that is speak the language that I have. And at that point, the language was anger. That's the only thing I had to talk about. It's like, I don't appreciate you demanding all this, light bearing gifts of me to the people that you got, and you taking all my people. What, that ain't fair. But when I stepped into January, because your question is, how do I rise above? When I stepped into January, I recognized that I did not have what I need to start this year. And I gave myself permission to take a time out publicly. So all my lives were about how I wasn't coming on with nothing. Every live was, hey, y'all, hey. I just came to say I'm still here, but I ain't got nothing to give you. I ain't got nothing for you. I'm processing some stuff. Look for me soon, but not today. And by mid-month January, I had sat with Dr. Ali, and we worked out a plan that I had the bandwidth for the last 2 weeks of the month of January, and 2222 hit. It hit in a way it's like, I looked up the twos, and twos is angelic alignment, and that you're covered. Whatever your walk is covered. And I said, okay. So here I go. And today here I am.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the path that you brought us through. I love how you share that asking for help was important. Knowing when you're in a space and you need help, knowing when you're in a space and you have to hold on to people around you, let them know, listen, I'm here, make noise, be visible, but also ask for help in the process because you don't know it all. We don't know it all, right? We're trying to figure this out. And then moving forward, and then every time you move forward, boom, there was always something that just derailed us, that we felt that was derailing us. How many of us out there feel like every time you make 2 3 steps forward with your business, here comes something that throws you off? Every time you do something, here comes something that throws you off, and then to get back into it, sometimes we give up. How many people sometimes are sitting down out there that just saying, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can move forward. So it was important for me to bring Zina in right about now because she's doing a challenge in her group. It's an I am challenge. It's part of her metamorphosis. It's part of her coming back into life, getting back into the space of where she's called to be, but giving herself permission to take pauses when she needed that pause, but still gathering her soldiers, gathering others out there who are experiencing the same. So tell them since 222, because 2222, what have you been doing in your tribe? Drop the invitation, let them know they are invited if they need it. How many, some people may be out here like, Dag, I need that support. I need that little bit of extra help to keep me going right now.
So I want to say this right quick if I have a little bit of
Absolutely.
grace. Um um one of I've been skating since junior high school, and when I first learned to roller skate, indoor roller skate, one of the first lessons I was taught was how to fall. And the reason why they teach you how to fall before they teach you how to roll is because once you are rolling and you get into the crowd, the chance that you're going to fall while you're still learning is very, very great. And they want you to fall safely so that you have the courage to get back up. And when you're rolling indoor skating, if you don't get up, you'll get rolled over. And so I've taken that principle into every area of my life. When I fall, the goal is to get to my feet as quickly as possible. Even if I'm not ready to roll, at least get up off the floor so people don't roll over me. Um, as far as the I am challenge, I am doing it every Wednesday, and I apologize. I see in the private chat where I can put the link. That's my lead magnet link. That's not.
Well, I'm still gonna drop that still in case anybody need it. But you could also let me know the link for the I am challenge, or we could
I,
always come back in and put it in, and people can have access to it.
uh, okay.
Either or works. Oops, I'm gonna try that again. But it's a time for us to move forward and to gather who are in that space to help them through affirmations. What are you guys doing every day? What in the process? What are you doing? Or every week? I'm sorry.
We're doing what we're doing in the month of February. We're doing. I am identifying various declarations. We started with I am fluid and flexible. Last week we discussed I am covered on all sides. Next week, in honor of Valentine's Day, we're doing I am loved and cared for. The last week of February, we're doing I am whole and complete. And so the whole idea behind these declarations is, and we did it when I first came on tonight. You said something and I said something, and I was like, I got to speak over myself, because that is a principle that people don't give all the value it deserves. When I can't find anyone to encourage me, the sound of my voice to the vibration in my ear affects my personal molecular structure in a way that my feet move quicker to my voice than anybody else's voice there is. And so you can make all the people been telling me how great I am my whole life, and it wasn't until I began to declare my own greatness over my own self that my feet were like, oh, maybe she's onto something here. And so the I am series, the I am conversations series encourages and supports as we build this community to get people in the habit of speaking over themselves. in any area where there may be a blocking boulder, so that you can move, you can have movement in your experience toward your desired goal. Our heart's desires are divinely placed in our heart by God. He will honor it if you are willing to do the footwork. He don't need to do it for you if you become obedient. And so the I am conversations encourages individuals to speak over their own situations so their body will be obedient to the call on their heart and lives can be changed. That's what it's about.
Ooh, power. Oh. I don't know who out there don't need that when you have to speak the life into your own self. I mean, sometimes we are waiting for others. Sometimes we are leaning on others, realizing that we are our own rescue. We are the ones that have to learn to breathe life back into ourselves when we feel like we need resuscitating. So join this I Am challenge. Follow ZinaLetrece, Life Essentials with ZinaLetrece, and you'll be able to get more access to that. And definitely we'll come back in and we'll drop the link in here where you can just easily pop into it and click on it and get it. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
I'll go get the link. I saw your face.
Yeah.
She's like,
Mm.
We
You
already know Zina Electric. I got you. We gotta try. We will get you. We will go and drop the link in it so people can get it easier and directly. Zina, it was an honor having you. I want to honor people's time. Thank you guys for joining us for Friday CEO Flow. And just hearing the story and hearing the process of yet another mompreneur who's navigating this process through her own unique life and still helping others to speak life into themselves also. Before you leave, Zina, what would you like to leave them with? And then for you out there that are listening, I have a ritual with my tribe. Whenever we have guest speakers that come in or whoever is teaching for the day, after you finish receiving all this greatness, pour back into the person. So just tell us what your takeaway was. Tell us what the value of you hearing this tonight was. Whether you're catching it live or catching it replayed, type it in the chat. So whoever's here as our guest later on, they'll go over and they'll read it and they'll feel like they were purposefully sent here to land in your soul or land in your spirit. So please pull her back up because she's just finished pouring into you.
Thank you.
What do you want to leave them with?
I want to leave them with the understanding that the bulk of our major conversation has been implanted in us through life and experience and cultural and family background. And so at whatever age you are, by the time you come across this information right here, it is the best possible time for you to understand that you have the freedom and the possibility to change that up if it is not working for you. And the way that you change that up is by speaking a language that does work if that language has not worked. You have the power, you have the freedom. It is your God given birthright to live the life that is aligned with your heart, not the conversations of your past. And at any given time, you can change that up with alternate conversations to offset that information. You're not a prisoner to whatever you have believed before. You can always change that up if it didn't work. Thank you.
Boom. Life Essentials with ZinaLetrece, y'all. Make sure you join the I Am Challenge. We appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank
your time.
you.
Everyone else, I will see you guys again. We have another live on Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about camera confidence. I have an um, amazing being, a star from one of our other tribes. She's going to come in and pour some life into how being on camera has helped to build impact and influence. So that's at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And then next Friday, join us again. Bring your cup of joe, cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever cups. And if you need your own branded cups, hit me up. Mama Ismay makes branded cups. Let's support Mama Ismay. where you can have your cup for Friday night, and we can just sip and just enjoy ourselves, being poured into at any place where you are, wherever you are, home, car. I hope you guys got something good out of this. Levon said, speak life. I'm going to leave with that right there. Thank you, Zina. Have a blessed one, everyone. See you guys Tuesday and next week, Friday again. Bye.